Okay, so here we have a polynomial, and I want to know if x minus 2 is a factor of it. If so, if it is a factor, I want to find the remaining factors. So step 1 is determining if x minus 2 is a factor. So recall that if we want to find out if something is a factor, we're going to set it equal to 0. And when you solve for x, this is the number that we're going to substitute into the polynomial. So I'm going to evaluate p of x at 2. Okay, so this is simplified, and when all is said and done, p of 2 is equal to 0. Now remember that since I used the factor and remainder theorem, I plugged in the root of what I'm dividing by, or the divisor. This means that there is a 0 remainder. So yes, it is a factor. So that means my step 2 is I'm going to find the others. Find the other factors. So since I know that x minus 2 is a factor, that means it will divide evenly into my polynomial p of x. So I'm going to do my synthetic division and divide x minus 2 into p of x. And my root is going to be the root of the divisor, so this number up here is going to be 2. And I got a 0 remainder, which is what I anticipated. Since I started with a cubic and I divided by a linear, this results in x squared plus 8x plus 15. So to recap what I did, I took the polynomial that I was started with, I divided by x minus 2 because I know it's a factor, and I got x squared plus 8x plus 15. So that means that p of x is going to be equal to x minus 2 times x squared plus 8x plus 15. I want to take this one step further and completely factor it. So I'm going to factor the trinomial. So I need factors of 15 with the sum of 8, 3 and 5, plus plus, because both my signs are pluses, they're going to be plus and plus also. So this is p of x completely factored, and these are my other two factors. Okay, and now this polynomial, so this is another example. This one's more complicated. This one's like the second one on the back of the homework. I have a polynomial that's of the 4th degree, and I want to know if x squared minus 1 is a factor of p of x. So the first thing I'm going to do is determine if it is a factor. So same thing, I'm going to set x squared minus 1 equal to 0. So x squared equals 1, which means if you take the square root, x is equal to plus or minus 1. So there's actually 2, 1 and negative 1. Let's check them both. I'm going to plug 1 in to my polynomial. So this just remains 2 plus 5 minus 14 minus 5 plus 12. And that results in 0. So this is a factor. So x minus 1 is a factor. Now let's try the other one. So I'm going to plug in negative 1. Just ran out of room, so I put the negative 12 down, or the plus 12 down below. Okay, so p of negative 1 is equal to, this becomes just positive 2, this becomes negative 5. This becomes negative 14. This goes to plus 5. And I still got the plus 12. So p of negative 1 is also equal to 0. So therefore, x plus 1 is also a factor. So since I know that each of these is a factor, I'm going to use that to help me find my other factors. So first, let's take the polynomial and divide by one of them, x minus 1 or x plus 1. I'll do x minus 1. Okay, so I'm going to use my synthetic division again. So 2, 5, negative 14, negative 5, and 12. And since I'm dividing by x minus 1, the top number up here, or my root, is going to be 1. Okay, notice I have a remainder of 0, so that's exactly what I wanted because I knew that x minus 1 was a factor, so I should get 0. So recognize that at this point, this is 2x cubed plus 7x squared minus 7x minus 12. Okay, but I only divided by x minus 1. So this means that this polynomial times x minus 1 gives me my original polynomial. But I know I can take this even further and divide it by x plus 1. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the coefficients again. So let's see. I'm going to move up and moved all my work because I ran out of space. So, okay, so to recap, I divided p of x by x minus 1, did my synthetic, I got this cubic. Okay, I can divide by x plus 1 also though. So rewrite your coefficients. And this time the root is going to be negative 1. And I got a 0 remainder again, which is what I anticipated because I know x plus 1 is also a factor. So this means that I have 2x squared plus 5x minus 12. So putting it all together, p of x is equal to x minus 1, which was what I first divided by, times x plus 1 times 2x squared plus 5x minus 12. I'm almost there. I just have to factor that trinomial. Okay, I got it to a quadratic, and I know how to factor these. I need factors of 2x, or 2x squared, so I have 2x and x. I need factors of negative 12, so that my inner and outers will give me plus 5. So, or plus 5x. So my only factors that I can do are plus 4, plus 4 and minus 3. And just to check your inners and outers, I've got negative 3x and a positive 8x. So positive 8 minus 3 will give me a positive 5x. So when I wanted to find my other factors, these ones are the other factors.